This is Fountain Pen Geeks Podcast episode number 39 for Tuesday, September 4th, 2012. We are recording live on Saturday, September 1st. For those of us in the U.S., happy Labor Day weekend. Welcome to Fountain Pen Radio. My name is Eric.
And I'm Dan.
And I think this is Stephen.
I think so too. How are you, gentlemen?
Very good.
Welcome to our new method of broadcasting. Can anybody verify whether or not it's working?
I'm refreshing the page. We'll see what happens.
Because I'm not seeing anything, but I don't always see everything.
Really? I thought you were
okay.
like...
So I don't always see everything. Someone is saying, no, I don't always hear it.
I had to refresh the page, and then it came back up.
All right, I'm going to refresh, and in the meantime, we can just jump right in here and start talking about a bunch of pen shows. In fact, one for tomorrow.
Yes, which one is that?
That's according to what I see in front of me is the Northeast Pen Show. Do we know where that is yet? Last week we didn't know, and we were guessing that it was in the United Kingdom. And I'm gonna continue with that guess unless I hear otherwise.
I have no idea.
All right. It's in the northeast of England somewhere, and it's tomorrow, one day only. Dan Smith is very quiet. Are we having technical difficulties of any kind?
We're fine. Just keep going.
Okay. Newcastle upon Tyne.
Oh, I've actually been there. I spent the night there once.
Were you there at the pen show? Or?
No, this was many moons ago. Newcastle upon Tyne. Yes, I could go there again. I should get a flight today, shouldn't I? It's probably too late. You could go, Stephen.
In theory, I could go.
In theory.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you can't go there, how about the Dallas Pen Show? That's September 21 and 22. It only costs you $5 to get in.
Heck of a good deal.
Heck of a good deal. And some people we know will be there. I just don't know who they are off the top of my head.
Well,
in fact, I'm going to say the Andersons will be there.
I was thinking of Michigan. I think they will be. I know Mike Masuyama will be in Dallas.
Well, that's reason enough to go right there. The Andersons and Mike.
Absolutely.
For $5, you can get everything you need.
And then just a week later in Michigan, there's $6 to get in the door there, and I know the Andersons will be at that show.
And I don't know anything about the Michigan show except that it's probably in Michigan.
Probably.
Yep.
No, Michigan, is that a city or a state or a province? No, I'm asking for Stephen.
Michigan, that's like somewhere in the U.S., right?
Yes. But where is it? Is it in Detroit? I don't know.
I can't remember. I didn't.
All right. Let's talk about the one show we do know about. That's the Tilburg show, and we'll just let Stephen talk because.
Well, yeah, but you know what the problem is that show. I mean, there is no website. There is nothing. I don't know anything about the show either. I mean, what I do know is that it will be held, and I'm pretty sure that I know where it's going to be held. But they used to have that show in a museum, which is a pretty interesting place to have a pen show, I think. And that last year when I was there, I can't even remember whether it was still in that museum because the museum closed down. But I think it was a type of museum. So I know this. I'm going there. So I'll see, and then I'll try to record some video and do some stuff and talk to some people and give people some FPGeeks buttons.
You'll incite frenzy is what you'll do. Incite frenzy.
I incite frenzy wherever I go, so that should be no problem.
You will indulge in the madness.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just because we're curious, how far away from where you live is Tilburg?
Tilburg, well, that's a bit, more than a good hour's driving, hour and a half, I guess.
Hour and a half drive. Will you be going by car? You won't be taking a train?
I haven't decided yet, because the funny thing is the museum is, I think, something like the Stationsstraat, which means like the station street, so it's very close to a train station, so I might as well take a train. But it'll depend,
it's not at the museum.
No, but I mean, it depends a little bit on how many pens I want to buy. If I'm going by train, then obviously I can't, you saw how I left in D.C. with 20 bags for all the pens, and so, it's...
Let you on the plane. I assume they'll let you on the train. Yeah. Since you will take pictures, you'll keep us updated.
Absolutely. I hope to be able to, take so many pictures that I guess I'll just open a thread on FPGeeks, so we'll have a feature, whatever. But I'll try to provide as much coverage as I can. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Dan?
Well, you should have access to our Twitter account, right?
Right. So I'll try to tweet.
Twitter tweet.
Twitter tweet.
Into the world.
Yeah, I think you did tweet at the DC Pen Show. But anyway, speaking of Stephen Brown, why don't you tell us about Montblanc Midnight Blue?
Montblanc Midnight Blue is very bad. No, I like it. In fact, I like it a lot. That's why it was one of the entries of the Inkcyclopedia. I think it's very cool because it's an iron gall ink, meaning it's pretty much waterproof. I think it has a very fascinating color. It's not a bright color. It's not like an in-your-face red or something. It's a bit toned down and quiet, but I think it holds some type of appeal, and I think quite a bit of people did that. So we did an Inkcyclopedia entry on that, and I hope it was useful, and that's all. Bye. Now I think it's a pretty cool ink to use, especially because of its waterproofness. So the real question is, what ink goes next? Now, I haven't really prepared a list, but maybe people can just... Yes.
Give us two options and we'll decide. And then you'll do whichever one you want anyway.
Let me see. We've covered sort of yellow. We've covered... Oh, we need a green.
All right.
I don't think we've covered a green. So what about? We have Lierre Sauvage by Germain.
How do you say that in English?
Lierre Sauvage? No, I'm not sure. Lierre? No, I just don't know. Lierre Sauvage. It's a very dark, I'll put it that way. It's a dark green with nice shade.
Okay.
We have, that's the other funky green ink, also by Germain, which is a bit typical, but what's it called? That's I'm almost saying like a mint green. And I just forgot the name. So that's the one, name I can't remember.
Why don't you do the one by Germain?
Yeah, the other's by Germain too. But
I know
you know what?
That's why I said that.
I'll go for Lierre Sauvage. I'll go for that.
Good. It's decided. Now,
cool.
getting back to Midnight Blue, it's an iron gall ink. You say it's good in the waterproof department.
Yes.
But is that the same property that makes it? Is it dangerous for pens, in your opinion, or?
Well, I put it in those pens for the Inkcyclopedia, and afterwards I threw them all away because it's no, I don't. I mean, it's not dangerous to the extent that it has a very high pH value. For example, there's a specific type of blue that we all know, that's something about a base state or something, that actually has a very high pH value. But this ink, all Montblanc says is you can put it in any pen, but make sure to clean it well afterwards, because it does, if I understand correctly, it does contain a type of, I'm not sure whether it's true pigment, but because of the chemical structure or something, whatever, there is small bits of stuff that can get stuck in your feet. Yeah.
All right. So, but the instructions that come with the Montblanc ink from the Montblanc company, that they probably intend this ink to be used in Montblanc pens, only says clean the pens from time to time.
Yeah. I mean, I probably have.
I would feel very comfortable. I would feel very comfortable using this ink.
All they say is, I think I read the instructions of the Inkcyclopedia entry, so watch it. But I mean, apart from that,
I have watched it. That's why I'm asking.
No, exactly. No. But I mean, it's good to think about it. All they say is, you should always clean your pen after using, inks. But with Midnight Blue, take a little extra care and make sure it's really flushed out well. And they don't say anything about, this will shorten the lifespan of your pen with 7 years every time you use it or something. So I guess you should be pretty safe. Yeah. And I mean, it's Montblanc, right? It's not,
right. That's what makes me feel like it's probably
exactly
an okay thing to put in my pens.
Right.
Mr. Smith has been very, very quiet during this conversation. Are you still with us?
Yes, absolutely. I'm just enjoying the conversation.
It's time for you to take over now.
All right. Well, let's move on to some paper to use with that ink. I found these really awesome cherry blossom memo pads, and they're made by a Korean designer from this studio or company called Appree, And Appree is a product company, and they provide various office supplies. They're based out of Seoul, Korea, and they were established in 2008. It says they design small but special experience, such as refreshing atmosphere of the mountain mist, calm weather, and the lake felt in the nature, and has always been developing small office products with an attitude of learning from the nature. And I think these cherry blossom memo pads definitely fit within that. The product comes in 3 sets. One is a pad of 2 cherry blossoms with 2 single leaves, and you also get 1 cherry blossom with 1 single leaf, and then you get just 1 cherry blossom. And all 3 of these pads come together for $28, including shipping. And I think they're pretty cool looking. I mean, they're kind of small. I don't know how practical they would be, but I don't know. Just something with sticky notes, you know.
Would you like my opinion?
Absolutely.
I think they're quite nice, lovely. I wanted them immediately, and then I saw the price.
Yeah.
My only problem with them is that they seem a little expensive.
And I wonder how much you can actually write on there. I mean, they look just what Dan said.
Well, with your writing, this would be less than 1 word per page.
Yeah,
you use an entire block.
Yeah, I know. So that's, yeah,
But I think they are designed perfectly for what the company says they're trying to do. And I don't know. I like them. I don't know if I like them $28. But maybe we could do a group buy. We'll just buy 1 and split them up.
We all get one sticky note or what?
Yeah, there you go. Have you ordered yours yet, Dan?
No, I haven't. I probably won't.
Well, one of us has to.
Playing around.
Well, you just said you like them, so I guess you're the ideal candidate.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens. All right. Where should we go now, Mr. Smith?
Well, we are going to do some hands-on with a few pens. And I wanted to do this for a while because I think kind of a hands-on article is, you know, it's short, it's practical, it's not a full in-depth review, but then it's more than a product announcement. I think it gives people a lot more practical and useful information, and it helps us get more material out there for everyone to read. The first one that I've done is the Franklin-Christoph Model 25, and I bought this pen, let's see, well, it was just in LA. When was
February.
that? February. And it was actually the only pen that I bought at the show, and it's a fantastic pen. The design of it struck me. I mean, it's something completely different. The clip holds the nib down. The cap is very short, and you don't really post it. It slides under the clip. It holds it very well. The nib, I mean, really, Franklin-Christoph, I love their nib options. You can get anything from an extra fine to, you know, a 1.1 stub or cursive italic. I opted for the 0.9, I think it's cursive italic by Mike Masuyama. Absolutely phenomenal. It's super smooth. I don't know. It's just, I saw this pen and I had to have it, and I'm really glad I bought it.
It was a beautiful pen. Of course, most... everything that Franklin-Christoph makes is beautiful.
I would agree.
This was I don't know, the nib on this one has always reminded me, for some reason, of a cobra's head.
Yeah, I can see that, because like the hood is at like the widest part of the nib, right at the shoulders. So I like that.
So going back to, let me see if I can go back for just a moment to the other picture that I was showing, which was the one of all these pens that you posted.
Yes.
I recognize almost every single one of those pens, but I do not recognize that box. What is the story there?
That is a Waterman salesman case. It holds, you can see that it holds 20 pens there. On the bottom is another shelf, and there's like a very nice padded divider between it, and it holds 20 more on the other side. The whole thing is about, let's see, it's only about 3 inches thick.
Wow.
The thing is, the slots really, I mean, they're not designed for really any of those pins up there except for like the 51, the faceted VP, and for snorkel. I mean, they've got to be really thin pins.
Right, they look like thin slots.
Yeah, most pins back then used to be that thin, so it wasn't a problem. But like the Delta and the Levenger Plumster all the way on the right, like those, I can't actually put those in the case and close it. So this was just for kind of a display picture purpose.
Yeah, that's the first thing. You post this picture of all these pens, and the first thing I notice is that box. I say, hey, where did you get that box?
I've had that for a long time.
Wonderful, wonderful. Where are we going now, sir?
Well, TWSBI is releasing more news again. This time it's more with the Diamond, the Diamond 850 IROC. And let's see, what was it? Just last week we saw it with an all chrome finish, and they didn't have the ink window in it, and now they've given us a raw finish, and they've added the ink window. And you can see that it retains the chrome finish on the clip and the piston knob. And in the comments, it seems that many more people like this finish over the all chrome one. What do you guys think of it?
Well, this is the finish that we're calling the matte finish, right?
Right.
Yes, I like the matte finish much more than the shiny finish.
Yeah, so do I. It's a lot less. I mean, it looks like you don't actually have to wear sunglasses to write, so that's I find that comforting.
And you, Dan?
You know,
you're going to get both, aren't you?
I probably will. You know, it'll be interesting to see how many they actually release, because my bank account might take a real hit when this pin comes out. But one interesting point made in the comments was some people don't really like all these updates because it kind of quells the excitement for them. You know, they feel like they become so familiar with the pen that they don't really feel the need to purchase it, or you know, there's. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you kind of get that same vibe? Because I can totally understand what they're saying there. It's just that, you know, it's TWSBI, so I'm obviously going to buy it. But
I certainly see the point. But that has not happened to me with TWSBI for some reason. Because I do understand it. Oftentimes, if you're teased too much, it's a turnoff. But I, for some reason, I don't think this is teasing. Now, if we're talking about the Mini, I think we're just being kept up to date on this project, and I like it, even though I don't much care for this particular pen, which is amazing. It's the first TWSBI I don't care for. And maybe that's why I haven't been turned off by it, because I already know I don't much care for the pen.
It's interesting because they're like taking the complete opposite approach with the Mini. I mean, when was the last time we saw anything about the Mini?
Any new update? The last thing I remember is Speedy's daily carry. There was one in there. But, you know, that wasn't much of an update. That's just him bragging about the fact that he's carrying around a Mini, and I'm not.
Yeah. I think it's kind of interesting that they show you the whole process of what they're doing, and I like that they are putting out so many prototypes, and that so much thought goes into that, and that I like that. I also see the point about people getting fed up with it, but I think it's, I mean, I don't know of any other company that is so transparent about what they are doing, and I do appreciate that, actually. I think it shows that they just they take their customers very seriously, that they want us to share in that whole process, and that I really appreciate.
And I think it's more than just sharing. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they actually listen to the feedback and try to incorporate at least some of it into whatever it is they're doing, their development process.
Well, and I think that's kind of why we've seen so many different finishes. I mean, we've seen the titanium PVD coating on it. We've seen, the shiny chrome. We've seen the raw steel. I mean, we've seen a lot of different finishes here, and I really like
that could be because of feedback they receive from having shared the process, and it could also be that if you have an entire plant, a manufacturing plant that can make fountain pens, Dan, how many different fountain pens would you make if you had a plant that could make fountain pens?
I would make.
I know.
Every whim, every
that's exactly
every thought I had, I would make. Now I don't know if I would actually share all those, but
no, but we don't know how many they're actually making.
Right. I
mean, we haven't seen the solid gold one.
Jeez. The one thing I do like is the ink window. It's a very clear in one of the pictures they put up. I think it looks fantastic. I just really want to get my hands on one of these things.
You will. What is it? Brian Anderson called it. What was it, 2032 or something like that?
Oh yeah, the release date. Yeah, who knows?
All right, let's talk about a pen that has been released.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I'm holding it in my hand for the benefit of people who can't see me holding it in my hand. I have it right here with me. I haven't sent it back yet.
Where do we even start? I mean,
Nibbage.
Nibbage.
Yes.
Nibbage is the place to start with this pen.
You know, a wonderful, I mean, I would call it semi-flex nib. I think what the measurements I got was a 0.6 millimeter, stock medium with no pressure, flex to 1.2 millimeters in width. And I would say that's probably about 90% of its capabilities there. I didn't want to really push into it, but the feed keeps up very well. You can't go super fast, but at a moderate pace, you can easily get a good half page of flexible writing before the feed kind of starts to dry up a little bit. But from a modern pen, I think it's fantastic. I absolutely love the turquoise cotton resin.
The color is beautiful.
Oh,
the nib is fantastic. I never had a problem with the flow keeping up with my flex writing. And I don't know if I call it a semi-flex. How much does a nib have to flex before it's real flex? Well,
how black does a pen have to be before it's a stealth? This sounds somewhat familiar, but okay.
Well, I mean, if you say semi-flex, people have a general idea, and if you say full flex, I mean that's even a little more descriptive.
I think we're going to have to do that scientifically and get some actual.
Well, and that's kind of why I provided measurements for the line variation, because those descriptors are kind of vague. So.
Yes, but we could actually define them. In fact, we'll just assign that to Doc Brown. He's
sure,
got all sorts of nibs at the ready, and he can decide what is and what isn't, and we'll just follow his lead. I found the flow very wet on this pen, so it never had a problem keeping up with my writing. The color of the pen is just amazing, just amazing. I didn't mind the shape of the pen. I thought it might be uncomfortable, the triangular shape. I found that the nib wasn't hitting the paper at exactly the angle I wanted it in the beginning, but my hand adapted without my even trying to adapt. So I had no problem with that. I believe I saw a comment, someone said that if your hand won't adapt, you could actually turn the nib to rotate the nib to where it should be so that it fits better for your writing style.
Yeah, the thing with that is the nib and feed are in a collar that screws into the section, and you have to have a special tool to unscrew it. So it's not exactly a simple process to do that, but it is possible. And
right, but I'd say if I own this pen and I wanted the nib rotated 15 degrees, I could send it to somebody and have them do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
And the thing about this, like, I actually think that the pen is very comfortable. Like, if I just pick it up and I hold it so that my fingers are on the flats, the pen is very comfortable.
Very, very comfortable.
At the nib rotated that fit my grip, this would be, I mean, probably my favorite pen. I mean, it would.
I actually thought this would probably be the one pen that I could use with an oblique nib. An oblique nib might make the angle just perfect.
Yeah, that's also an option.
Stephen Brown does not have one of these pens, but he has one of the original.
Yeah, I do.
360s. So he knows what it's like to hold this shaped pen.
I got that pen. I was at the pen show in Tilburg last year, and I sat down with a German friend, and he brought a lot of pens, and one of them was one of these old Omas 360
and you
models.
stole it?
I shouldn't have started telling the story, should I? He gave it to me, and I think what most people would think when they see them, a triangular pen, there's no way that's going to be comfortable. And so I said something like that, and he said, yeah, just try it. And I was blown away. And once I made a sort of a short list of, he brought so many pens, but a short list of pens that I absolutely had to get after that, and this one was on there. I think it's the shape is unique, and it may not look comfortable, but once you held one of these, I think you're sold. I mean, it's really unique. I also know what you mean with this nib. It's a very typical nib, very pleasant to use. I'm assuming it's the same with the vintage you tried, and I absolutely love the pen. I think it's great. The one thing about it that's a bit of a problem is that it's very big. So I've always trouble fitting that in a regular pen pouch. But I mean, that's just nitpicking. The pen itself is gorgeous.
You're complaining about a pen being too big?
Well, no, it's not. I love the size. It's just that I think when it's capped, it's what, close to 7 inches or something. It's really big.
It is large. So your problem isn't that it's too large to use. It's just for
no. It's great. I love it. I mean, you don't have to, when you post it. It turns yellow.
You can't
but
post it.
I
don't post it.
Yeah, you're not a posting person, but still, I mean, when you put it in a pen pouch, that's the only issue. But it comes with its own pouch. So.
Well, now the only speaking of these, this particular turquoise limited edition, the new one, not the one that you have. The only thing they did wrong, in my opinion, is they put an inner cap inside the cap that is black, completely black, non-see-through black.
I absolutely agree. I mean, what were they thinking?
They weren't thinking.
I mean,
either they weren't thinking, or there was something they couldn't do it any other way, because that inner cap is actually what the pen attaches to when you put the cap on. Right. And so maybe it had to be some sort of special, I don't know, some sort of special material that is strong enough to hold the pen in place when it's capped.
You know, whatever they needed, I'm almost certain they could at least find it in clear.
I would think so. And what was the original one? What's the inner cap on yours, Doc Brown?
You know, I have absolutely no clue, but I'll grab it just for you.
We'll continue talking.
Well, no, I'll just go ahead and show everybody now. I actually got one. It's an all-white 360.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm gonna hold on just a second. I'm gonna set my video. It's the all white. I've wanted one of these for a long time, and I mean, it was like only 1/3 of the price of that turquoise one. But the inner cap on this is white.
So the inner cap on the white one matches the pen.
Right.
I think the inner cap on mine. Sorry, I have to grab something here.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
You always have everything at the ready.
Inside. Okay. Inside is an inner cap that looks the same color as the cap. So it's a
that's a really dark blue, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so they're matching on the old ones. Of course they weren't transparent, translucent. Yeah. Right. So I wish they had made it a clear, or at least the turquoise blue color inner cap, because that would make the pen absolutely a have-to-have.
I would agree.
As it is right now, I can look at that inner cap and say, maybe I don't need this pen. Yeah. But that's what I do when I really want a pen, but I don't really want a pen. If you know what I mean, I pick the one thing I don't. Well, Stephen, you know this. I did that all the time at the DC Pen Show.
I know. I mean, I tried
the one little thing that I don't like about it, and I blow it all out of proportion, just so I won't feel bad about not getting it. Anyway, wonderful pen, fantastic writer.
I was wondering about one thing. I know you mentioned that in the awesome review, but what about the shape of the blind cap sort of thing that you used to you hold that to operate the piston? That has the same shape.
Piston turning knob, yes.
Yeah, the piston turning knob.
Triangular.
What did you feel about that? Yeah, how'd you feel about that?
I had a momentary problem at the beginning that went away immediately. As soon as my fingers realized it was a different shape,
Right.
Yeah. But after that, it was no problem.
Yeah. Okay.
No problem
it just takes a second to adjust to, and then it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wonderful pen, wonderful pen. Dan, I think you have a video.
Yes. Give me just a second.
Oh, yeah, I see a video. We're watching a YouTube video inside of a YouTube video.
G'day. Welcome to another exciting new episode of Fountain Pen Makers in the Wild. A couple of weeks ago, I spent some time at the DC Pen Super Show with my mate Eric, who's another experienced fountain pen hunter and a trekker of good deals. We spent some time at the table of the Edison Pen Company, which is headed by a guy named Brian Gray. He looks something like this. Now, we try to gain his trust. That's not easy because these guys come to the show to sell pens, and if you come between them and their pen sales, they may just bite your finger off. Now, we did actually gain his trust, and when he went home with his wife, Eric was able to follow him. So what I just said there was that Eric was able to follow him. I was not saying that Brian's grey wife is called Eric, right? Okay. Now, Eric followed him home with a video camera, and he was actually able to do some video footage of the guy, Brian Gray, in his natural habitat making some pens. Now, what you got to realize here is how unique that material is, because video footage of a pen maker making pens actually hardly ever leaves a pen maker's workshop. So Eric risked his life because, you know, with these pen makers, if their lathe breaks, you have no idea what they are capable of. So Eric risked his life, but he was able to get you that footage, and that footage is what you are going to watch right now.
Hey everybody, this is Brian Gray with the Edison Pen Company.
So that was...
I don't know what you think, Dan, but don't you think that Crocodile Brownie looks a lot like Doc Brown?
There's a remarkable resemblance there.
I mean, the accent's a bit off, but it looks like him. And he likes to wear those hats.
You know, I'll tell you something. Actually, I have a brother that is long lost, and yeah.
So that was what, a teaser, Dan?
Yes, that video can be found on our YouTube channel and at our website. And Brian goes through the production of that clear demonstrator Beaumont. I mean, it's a fantastic video. But you shot this while you were at Camp Edison after DC, right?
Exactly, yes. And it just sort of happened. It just sort of happened. I had the camera. We were playing with pens. Actually, we were playing with making pens. And when you play with making pens, you use clear acrylic. And suddenly a piece of a demonstrator was being made. I said, could you make an entire demonstrator Beaumont? He said, of course. And so, will you let me film it? Of course. So got the footage, got home, put the footage together, sent it off to Doc Brown and said, could you do an introduction for this? And I said, do whatever you want. And that's what we got.
Well,
I think it was a great video.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not talking about my introduction, right? I'm talking about the. To be sure, I'm talking about the actual pen making stuff. I think it's really nice to see this. I've never. I mean, I don't. I mean, I hardly know what a lathe looks like. So for me, it was very cool to see this stuff. I really think it's very nice.
I've seen pens being made, pens being turned, as they call it. And I think if you've never seen it, this is an amazing video. But what I really like about this particular one is because I've never seen anybody turn a demonstrator. So you could actually see the tools on the inside of the pen, or the barrel or the cap. You could see what they were actually doing in there, because usually that's a mystery. You don't get to see it. That's what I liked about this particular video. And the pen just turned out amazing. He put some serious nibbage in the pen, and I got to write with it, and he says, well, I'm just going to make this my personal writer. So as far as I know, he's still got that in his pocket.
It's very cool. I think my next Edison, I'll probably opt for a demonstrator.
Yeah, he can. Apparently, he can do any one of his pens in a demonstrator. At that point, it's a custom pen. So even if you order, like the Beaumont in those 3 colors that it comes in is generally production. I may have just misspoke. He can do any pen that they make in a demonstrator. At that point, it just becomes one of his custom pens.
That sounds cool.
Good deal. Good deal. Speaking of pens, shall we talk about pens?
Absolutely.
What have we been talking about up to this point, then?
I don't know. Video,
That's true.
Accents, hats, long lost brothers. Let's talk about pens.
So our featured daily carry on Friday was Oliver Taylor, and Oliver is 15 years old and lives in England, and he's been collecting for 2 years now and owns 15 fountain pens. He's got a pretty nice collection, if I might say so. He says his favorite is the Parker Frontier, and his Grail pen is a Visconti Van Gogh Starry Night with a fine nib.
Excellent selection. Those Visconti Van Goghs, we saw the entire set, of course, several of them in DC. Every one of them is better looking than the one you just saw. They're just amazing. A really good job they've done on that. One of the pens that Oliver has here is a Reform. Stephen, did I just see some comment from you about you contemplating a purchase of a Reform?
Yeah, and the reason is a bit duofold. Because I note the clever pun there. No, it's actually because a lot of people ask me, could you please review the Reform 1745? And also that I sort of looked into that, and I thought, well, that actually doesn't look bad. But I mean, if I would like to hear from someone who actually owns it and to tell me whether it's a nice pen.
I've had 2 or 3. Dan, you must have some in your collection.
Yes, I believe I have at least 1, probably 2, and I think they both came from you.
I think so. Fantastic pen. If you've never tried one yet, Stephen, you have to get one. And the fountain pen community at large would love it if you would have one and do a review on it.
Well, I think I'll just keep it to myself. I mean,
yes,
all
I'm
those
sure you
bloody
will,
reviews,
as you do with all
sick and
those
tired
bloody...
of it.
It's a really, really great pen to start with. It's extremely affordable, and it's just a fun fountain pen. It's just a fun fountain pen.
Okay.
You will likely outgrow it, Stephen.
Yeah. Well, I may, but
Yes,
it's
you
still.
might.
I mean, I like these pens that are not too expensive, and sometimes I think you're really surprised. And I saw that Oliver has some pretty cool Chinese pens in there, and some of those are actually bargains beyond belief. I think you can get some really cool nibbage, and it's just really
He has
nice.
an extremely nice collection. He's 15 years old. He's in secondary school. Apparently, he takes 3 pens each day to school. They allow only black ink, so that's what he uses. And about every 2 weeks, he switches those 3 pens for another 3. And I believe he said he's the only one that he knows of that's using fountain pens at his school. And he gave me more information about how very little cursive was taught in school. And we'll see if we don't hear more from him in the future about the state of cursive in schools in England as of today. Because he's right there. He can speak to us about that.
Right. It would be interesting. I would like to hear that, actually.
Mr. Smith.
Yes, sir.
Where shall we go?
Let's check out the bad cartoon.
We had an amazing week of bad cartoons.
Final
didn't we?
Showdown, yeah.
With one particular cartoon that spoke to both me and you, I believe, Mr. Smith.
Yes.
This cartoon was by Alberto from California, who obviously pays attention to our podcast. He practically gets what we wear every week. He knows I have a clock behind me, and he knows what we say. I want a mini is apparently something I say on every show.
Well, occasionally. You mention it occasionally, but
Do I mention that occasionally? And there was I'm not actually looking at the page, Dan. If you're looking at it, you can help me out by... Is anybody looking at the page?
Yes. What do you want?
Oh, this was not the only cartoon. It's the only one I have a picture of.
Oh, there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cartoons up. I mean, all very good. One that I really liked was one by Unimom.
Right, I couldn't quite read that writing.
But it was a really cool picture. And it said before FPGeeks.com, and it had one pen. Well, I'll see if I can actually just share that.
Share that. Yeah, it's 1 pen and 1 bottle of ink. Yeah, we get the idea.
And so there we go. He's got you know, one drawer, a lonely Pelican 215 in there, and one bottle of Montblanc blue black ink, and then he says after FPGeeks.com discovery, and the drawer is now filled with pens, and the other drawer is filled with inks, and the Pelican 215 has, you know, kind of like a mad scowl on it, and it says next cartoon, Revenge of #1 Sun X'd out pen. I mean, I just thought it was freaking hilarious. I mean, so yeah, I really liked that one.
Yeah, this of course is the last Friday of the month-long Bad Cartoon Contest. But what do you think, gentlemen? Was it a success?
Yes.
I liked it, yeah.
Yeah, of the three of us, Dan Smith is the only one who did not participate. What's going on there, Dan? Now, I know you can draw. I know you can draw.
I saw some of the entries, and I wasn't even going to compete because mine would have looked like it would have been stick figures, and
no, you draw much better than stick figures. Of the three of us, you are the artist.
Oh,
so next year, I'm calling you on the carpet earlier so you can get something in there because I know you can draw. I've seen your work. Tim Hoffman, otherwise known as Maneuver in our forums, and somebody who we actually saw at the DC Pen Show. Speaking of which, Doc Brown, in your newest videos, when you use a loop, you're using a silver-colored loop.
Yes.
Was that not a gift from someone?
That was indeed a gift from the very person you were just talking about.
I'm glad I got the person right.
Yes.
He has been named our cartoonist laureate for the next 12 months, and he has agreed to supply us with one bad cartoon each month, which I'm planning to post on the first Monday of each month just to make each month fun. I know this will happen for September because I already have the cartoon. Future months, of course, I'm sure that'll happen too. Tim has been very good about... I think he's made it into every single week of the Bad Cartoon Contest. So he's just... He's funny, and he's apparently prolific, so that was the criteria I used. And so you'll see more of Tim Hoffman Maneuver and his, should we call it a warped mind?
I'll just his next comic is awesome.
Oh yeah, all three of us have seen it. I had to share it with both of you because it is so, it's funny and it's sad and it's so truthful at the same time.
Oh, it is.
When I first saw it, I thought for sure he had cameras in my studio office here, but apparently it's true for all of us. So he's an observing sleuth. He's very good. So look for that on Monday, and thank you, Tim, and thank you to everyone who participated, both the people who submitted cartoons and those who just looked at them and commented or commented. Bad Cartoon, by the way, it's not on our show notes because it just got published. Bad Cartoon in August has been replaced in September with our first annual Bad Haiku contest. So if you haven't seen that, it's at the website now, and you can have a little fun. People are already submitting bad haikus, and it's only been up for an hour and 45 minutes. Where are we going, Mr. Smith?
Well, the third part of the Lamy 2000 article by Brandon Hollingshead has been published. Just another massive part of the article. Lots of good stuff. He talks about all the components of the pen, where to send it for, you know, repair, adjustment, or warranty work. He talks about the piston filling mechanism. He talks about the ink windows. I mean, just so much good stuff here. It's the quality of work that he's got in this is just unbelievable. I mean,
someone here has a true passion for the Lamy 2000. And I have a passion for the pen too. I've never taken it apart quite like this. So it's really good to see that it actually can be done. And amazing, fantastic information. Dan is sharing a screen that shows me and then shows me. We're going to have an implosion here at any moment, Dan.
Sorry, I thought I had turned the screen share off.
I'm sharing a little picture that I was one of my favorites of this particular article.
Yes.
Where just everything about this pen, he shows you what is and is not possible and what the components are. This series of articles is so helpful. And if you don't have a Lamy 2000, you need to have a Lamy 2000.
I would agree.
Is that an overstatement? No, I don't think so.
No, it's a very
It
nice
can be
pen.
any one of the Lamy 2000s.
Could be an all-metal one, right?
Could be an all-metal one. Yours is speeding its way to you even as I speak. Got picked up yesterday, just so you know.
No,
But
that's
speaking
great.
of Lamy 2000s, I guess I can show mine.
Oh.
Mr. Smith, you must have one at the ready.
I'll show mine too.
If I hadn't sent Doc Brown's off to him, I could hold both of them up. First impressions, Dan? This isn't on the show notes, but since we have it in our hands.
Yeah. Well, as far as size, shape, design, I mean, it's
it's a Lamy 2000.
Yeah, I mean, it's identical to the Macrolon version. It's easily heavier. I mean, very noticeable. I mean, there's no mistaking it that it's heavy. The actual measurement is like 54 grams versus I think 25 for the Macrolon. I don't know if I would say that it feels twice as heavy, but it's the weight is definitely there. I really like it. I've written with it both posted and unposted, and either way feels good. I don't think posting it makes that big of a difference in weight change, but I really like it. Now, switching from that to the Macrolon or back and forth, it's very weird because you're going from a featherweight pen to a heavy pen. But I think, and Brandon even mentioned this, he goes, if you use one for a long time, you get used to it. And you don't really know how heavy or light it is until you switch to something else. And I think after extended use with this, I'll probably come to that same conclusion.
I'm sure. To me, it feels heavy when I pick it up, and then I start writing with it, and then I don't notice it. And I'm sure that if I used it every day, which I plan to, I will eventually not realize how heavy it is. But when you first get it and you pick it up, it feels like it weighs a ton. It's easily, I was going to say it's the heaviest pen I own. I haven't measured them all, but it is right up there. It is a very heavy pen. I don't usually post anyway, so I would never post this pen, but boy, if you do, Dan, it must just make it even heavier. Although the cap is kind of light compared to the body. The body is the...
You got to remember that I post nearly every pen. I mean, I even post the Delta Dolce Vita. I posted the Montblanc 149. It's just how I prefer. I post the TWSBI 540, the VAC 700. So for me, posting it, that's just normal for me.
Yeah, it actually, I'm going to try it posted. It seems to have a little more balance being posted. I'll try it that way. But as far as design, are you glad they came out with a stainless steel version? Is it everything you expected it to be?
Yes, I think so. I'm glad they came out with it because I've been searching for the limited edition 2000 version for a long time.
You should have told us. We saw it in D.C.
I know. Well, we saw it in Chicago. I know the guy who has it. He's charging a ridiculous amount of money for it. It's way overpriced in my opinion. I would have bought one eventually. I'm glad they released this because now I don't have to wait for it. I could just go to my favorite retailer and buy it.
Yeah, I love this pen. I've always loved the design, the shape of the Lamy 2000, and now that it's in stainless steel, it's a grail pen for me, and it's sitting right here on my desk. Stephen, I'm so sorry we're keeping you out of this conversation. You do have one. It left my house yesterday. I don't know. I suppose you'll have it sometime next week.
Probably, but I mean, it's actually very interesting to just listen to your experiences because the weight is something that fascinates me. 54 grams is indeed quite heavy for a pen, so I really can't wait. It sounds really cool. So
I predict that you will love this pen, and I assume we'll see one of your. You'll like what? Face the camera and tell us what you like about it, what you don't like about it. Maybe give us a writing sample.
Yeah, maybe so. I'm not sure yet. Maybe I'll just send it back to you and say, well, no.
Oh yeah, you could do that. We got different size nibs, so if you send it back, I'll just have two nibs to choose from. That's all there is.
That's true, and you can post one and not the other. You can break the clip off of one, then you got the ideal pen, man.
Yeah, I'm still working on that clip thing. Now, where are we going, Mr. Smith? I see what it says in the notes here. Are we ready for that?
Yes, we are. We have
ready for that. I don't have a graphic to show for the infographic that was posted this morning.
I got it.
Oh, I'm not sure we'll be able to see much detail in it, but all the stats and statistics that we're used to seeing after a write-in contest are there before your eyes with the Tree Ring Natural History Fountain Pen giveaway. My favorite thing, in case you're not looking at the graphic right now, is the ink tree rings, which depicts the ratios of colors of inks that I saw on the entries that were received.
That's awesome. I mean, this infographic looks absolutely stunning. I mean,
It's very colorful.
We should really. No, it's not just colorful. It's awesome. So we should. I think we should really, congratulate you on this, because this is.
Why, thank you.
With all the flags and all the stuff, this is just awesome.
I'm glad you like it. I don't remember off the top of my head. I do believe there's one entry from the Netherlands.
Could be, but then I wasn't involved.
Yes, I see the flag there.
Oh, okay. No, I know it wasn't from you.
Okay.
But I do remember finding that flag.
It's a very bland flag, don't you think? Always. Yeah, whatever.
We're not going to say anything. We think it's a lovely flag. I think it's absolutely lovely. So we have to give this pen away. I have this pen right here on my desk. I've been using it for a month, and now that it's used, I'll pass it along. We had X amount of, was it 236, I believe, was the total number, but 4 of those did not include a definition of dendrochronology. So we have 232 qualified entries, as I'll call them, and Doc Brown,
yes,
if you'll give me a random number from 1 to 232, we'll find out who's going to win this tree ring pen.
I will. I'm working on this.
To random.org.
Yes, I know what to do. I just have to do it.
I'm just filling the dead air. Don't snap at me.
Okay, there we go. From 1 to 270.5. What did you say?
232.
Oh, that's easy. 232. Okay.
Drum roll, please, Mr. Smith.
Is that more of a motorboat?
Well, it could be a woodpecker on speed. I mean, I don't know exactly. The number I have chosen, I've actually randomly drawn to be more precise, is 192.
192. Let's find out who that is. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah. I thought we saw the tree ring pen, the maker in DC, and I thought these were really, really cool pens. I think it's a very nice concept and a very nice idea.
Yeah, Dave Wager, he was there. He was in L.A. I don't think he was in Chicago. Super nice guy.
Super nice guy. I have to tell you a story. I'm sorry, I just cut you off and you froze.
He doesn't like it when you do that.
I guess not. I just jumped right in there. Dave was at the DC Pen Show, and we walked by his table, and of course all his pens were there. He had also printed out a copy of our awesome review that was sitting on his table. And you know me, I'm a smart aleck. I said, hey, that's copyright. And he took me seriously. For a minute he said,
oh, my God.
Oh, I'm sorry, is that a problem? I said, no, Dave, I'm a joker. I was actually very happy to see our awesome review sitting on the table. I know the identification. I know who won the pen. Shall I just announce it, or do you want to ask me questions like?
Well, that question. I mean, God, last time
you guys just are not. You're just not creative. You know, you never played 20 questions.
No, I was horrible at that game.
All right.
Is the winner an actual person?
As far as I know. As far as I know,
then
yes.
That's as far as I go. Okay.
So then you ask, is the person in the United States?
Is the person in the United States?
Yes, as far as I know.
Is it a man?
Yes. This particular name was put in the man category in the gender forest.
All right, just give it to us. Come on.
All right.
I don't want to wait anymore.
The winner is from Ohio, from a city in Ohio I've never heard of. The winner's name is Vaughn, and I will contact Vaughn. I'm looking at the entry, and it looks like I have to either send snail mail to Vaughn, or perhaps, Vaughn, if you're listening, you'll contact me, because the only thing I have here is a mailing address. So congratulations to Vaughn of Ohio. The entry reads, "Hello, geeks. Dendrochronology, tree ring dating. The word is derived from the Greek language, dendron, tree limb, and chronos, time." By the way, many people waxed humorous with their definitions of dendrochronology, most of whom found humor in tree ring dating, socially dating, as in looking for dates and seeing each other, going to the movies and so forth. Vaughn continues, keep up the good work, geeks. P.S. Oh, okay. P.S. I don't know.
Get rid of the Dutch guy, please.
I'm about to think there's some collusion here. P.S. Big fan of Stephen Brown and his fountain pen and inks reviews. Thanks. So now we know how Vaughn won. So congratulations, Vaughn, and thank you, Dave, for letting us review the tree ring pen and then subsequently giving it away. It is now given away. Actually, I don't have to contact Vaughn, do I? I just have to send the pen to this address. There we go. It's all settled now. Where are we going now, Mr. Smith?
Well, I suppose we should probably talk about the details of the first annual Bad Haiku contest, shouldn't we?
Sure. This contest is an easy one to enter. If you don't know how to write what the rules are for a haiku, it's all spelled out there in the press conference. And to submit, you just use the comment section. You don't have to send anything in via snail mail. You don't have to send it to a special email address like with the Bad Cartoon contest. You just develop your haiku and put it right there in the comments. Some people already have. In fact, I think Doc Brown is a participant already, was sitting there at his computer waiting and used the comment section to submit something. And I saw at least one more come in before we started the program. And Dan Smith is looking at the page, so you can tell us anything else I've forgotten, Mr. Smith.
No, it's just...
It looks like there's quite a few already.
Yeah.
Haikus are fun. Haikus are fun. And yes, Dan will submit one.
Really?
Yes.
I'm terrible at things. That's why I don't participate.
Have you ever even tried to write a haiku?
Yes.
Okay.
And that was traumatic because it sounded yes.
The title of this is the Bad Haiku Contest. You should be our king if what you're saying is true.
Oh, great.
Oh, great. I'm the king of bad haiku.
Now we can help you along a bit. Omas 360. That's 5 syllables.
There's the first line right there.
Yes, exactly. And then you just...
All right. I suppose if you're going to force me into this.
Yeah, well, let's talk about something pleasant for you then. Have you received any new pens this week, Mr. Smith?
I have received 1 or 2 new pens this week.
1 or 2 dozen?
Not quite that many. We'll just start with, of course, I showed this off earlier, the Omas 360 in white. This was, I think, the first 360 that I ever saw. I don't know, just something about the white that really grabbed me. I've wanted it for a long time, and as soon as I saw it come up for sale, I grabbed it. Of course, the new Lamy 2000. Love that.
Rub it in again. I still don't have mine. I know.
You know what? You guys with the DC show, you deserve every minute. The new Lamy 2000, it is so great. It feels so marvelous in the hand. The nib is as smooth as anything. Yeah, take it. The Pelican M805. This is my first Pelican M8.
Wow, you got an 800 series.
It's quite a bit larger than the 600. I don't have that on hand right now. This is the minimum size Pelican that I would go for. It feels absolutely great in the hand. I can write with it posted or unposted. And then I got a vintage Schaefer PFM. This is the PFM 2. I just absolutely love this design. It's a snorkel filling fountain pen. It's got that wonderful inlaid nib. This is just, a wonderful pen. It's my first PFM. I definitely want to get some more. And then the last one is the new 2012 collection Montegrappa Espressione, and it's It's a nice looking pen. Very affordable. MSRP is $295. I saw it. Where was it? Farney's or somewhere. They're actually selling it for like $235. Very affordable. Good looking pen. Great writer so far. I've only had it for about 12 hours now. Well, a little bit longer than that, but yeah, you can expect a hands-on with this soon, and some more information about that later. So,
Fantastic. You had a nice week.
it was a great week.
You had a fantastic week. I want to go visit you. Mr. Brown, have
Yes.
you received any new pens this week?
No. Yes, I have.
No.
I got a couple, and then I was sent a couple as a gift. I mean, so that's kind of cool.
You acquired. So
Yes.
two couples, you acquired 4 pens this week?
A bit more. I'm looking at it right now, so I'll just go through them quickly.
I'll just sit back.
Yeah, sure, and enjoy. This is a Stipula Model T in.
Yes, it is a Model T.
It
Sorry,
is a
I was going to correct you, and you were right in the first place. Go ahead.
I know what I'm talking about, sir. Please, just don't interfere. It's a Model T. For those of you who are not familiar with that, it means it has a titanium nib, which is, I would say, pretty serious nibbage. It's nice. It has flex to it. Not extreme. It's not like wet noodle flex, but it definitely gives you quite some nice line variation, which is very cool. I think Eric will have a word or two to say about that in a minute. I also got a Jinhao X450, which is, I think I told you last time that one of my hobbies is scouring eBay for Chinese pens I can get for 99 cents, and this is one of them. I think it's a very decent pen. It's I think like a brass barrel cap, and I even think section actually, so it's fairly heavy, which is nice. This is the last thing I got, and then I'll go to the other pens. This is maybe a bit lame, but it's a Pilot V pen. These are disposable fountain pens.
Oh, those pens are awesome.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. I bought a pen at, I think, Cult Pens, and they had this sort of thing going on that if you spend a certain amount of money on, I think, Pilot pens, you've got the Pilot V pen package with all the different pens. So these are all disposable pens. They all have liquid ink in them. It's like a sort of an eyedropper sort of type barrel they have, and they come with a marker and a tech pen and a regular rollerball and one fountain pen. One thing that struck me is that I have no way of showing you this because my camera will never focus, but the iridium or whatever tipping it is on this nib really points at an angle. I'm not exaggerating, like this. Mm-hmm. So it's really like it's pointed upwards. And I thought that's kind of weird. Is this bent or something? But I think it's supposed to be that way, and it rides very pleasantly. So it's actually, I think, if you're considering going into fountain pens, you're not really sure. These are not that expensive. I don't think they're the best looking pens in the world, but they perform well. They would give you a nice feel of what it's like to use a fountain pen. It's pretty cheap, so that's kind of
relatively easy to find.
Well, apparently you just go to Cult Pens, you order some pens, you get one for free with the package. Right. So that's. But I mean, I think they should be relatively easy to find. Yeah.
In the U.S., they're marketed as the Varsity.
I was wondering about that.
I'm not even sure where to get a Varsity. Is that something I could find at Staples?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay.
I think you can
just go to your stationery store.
Yeah, you can buy them in a box of like 8 or 12, I think.
Well, that's a good way to get started. Now they're just disposable.
Right.
They're disposable, but I think there are some tricks.
Yeah,
exactly.
You can pull the nib and the feed and just fill it right up and put it back together.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. Then I'll try that.
That was actually those were the pens I learned to grind nibs on.
Yeah, that makes sense because I think it has the same nib. I have a Pilot Petit 1, which is like a small pen. I think it's the same nib. It's a very typical shape, but that would be a great purpose for the pens.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
Well then,
what about you?
No, I don't think Doc Brown's finished yet.
No, I'm not nearly finished. We have about 2 hours more to go right now. I got this. This is something that Our Journey UK was kind enough to buy for me. I'm sure you can't really see it, but it says Official Jewellery Collection of London 2012. And in the box is another box, which is more white, which says Links London. Links is the Dutch word for left, by the way, but that's probably unrelated. And in there is, I think, a pretty nice pen. It's very reflective, so I hope I'm not going to blind. Yeah, see, I hope I'm not going to blind you people. It's metal barrel. I think, well, no, I think the cap is plastic. I think this is supposed to look like the Olympic torch because it's sort of a time for the Olympic Games. It says Links and London on the center band. It has a screw-on cap. It's a very nice section which has some texture to it, and it's a medium nib, I think, which is not particularly huge, but it is very smooth. So it's kind of nice. So it's a pretty cool pen, and as far as I understand, it's limited edition, which makes sense for the Olympics tie-in. So that's pretty cool.
Are you finished now?
Aren't you going to ask me what I'm wearing around my neck?
What are you wearing around your neck?
Thanks for asking. I actually someone sent me a medal, and
yeah, you deserve a medal for something.
Apparently I do. So there was one ink video in which I was using a glass pen and the nib broke, sort of it chipped halfway through or something. And I said something like, "Oh well, I just keep writing," and it was very scratchy and it was difficult to get the writing. I was just doing some showing off some inks, and I said, "I actually deserve a medal for going on like this." And then someone sent me this, and on the back it's actually engraved. It says, "To Stephen Brown for Perseverance, 2012." Just so you know.
I think that's fantastic. Did you not share that with us last week?
I think I told you guys about it, but I didn't think I actually showed it to the viewers.
Okay. I think I've seen the medal, but now
yeah, you have.
Occasionally we talk outside of this podcast, and so I couldn't remember if it was in the podcast. But speaking of talking outside the podcast, is it my turn?
I think it's absolutely my turn.
Things to share. If I can jump back in.
Jump back in.
So I went to Barnes & Noble yesterday after work, and
that's right.
I was walking by. I saw this. I absolutely had to have it. It's the Lego Moleskine notebook. Normally I stay far away from Moleskines, but the Star Wars edition I had, the paper was surprisingly good. I mean, we're not talking Rhodia or Clairefontaine good, but it was still very usable with a fountain pen. So I thought I'd go ahead and get this one. I mean, plus Lego. Look, it has a Lego right here. It's built into it. I've got a couple little Lego guys. I'm going to break out. I'm going to stick them on there. It's going to be on the desk.
Just a minute. Just a minute. You have Lego guys somewhere in your residence?
Absolutely. Who doesn't?
Wow. I don't believe I do. I would have to search far and wide. But, Doc Brown probably has one on the other side of his computer. Would you reach in front, behind your computer and pull out a Lego man?
I was just thinking the exact same thing. There are a couple pretty near, but I can just not reach and grab them. But I think every normal person, indeed, Dan, you're completely right, has Lego figures somewhere in his house. So, Eric?
So much.
No, I think I know where they are, as a matter of fact. I think I have 2 full sets of something in Lego. I'm not sure why. Why do we have Lego stuff? At any rate, good find on that.
Was I found this huge Piccadilly notebook.
That's a Piccadilly?
Yes. You can see how thick it is. I can't remember the page count. I want to say like 250 pages.
It looks like a joke.
It's
Tell me it's not lined.
No, it's blank. But the paper is actually really good. I've had Piccadilly before. I picked them up because they were so cheap, and the paper in those notebooks were terrible. I had no idea. I actually tested a little area of this before I bought it. Hey,
well, good for you.
Now. But it worked fabulous, so I bought it right away. It was only $10 for this giant thing. It comes in different sizes as well. I got it at Barnes & Noble. I think this one was only $10, I think. But yeah,
that's an amazing deal.
I thought so.
That's an amazing deal. Oh, apparently, I'll have to go to Barnes & Noble today and see what they have in their paper supply section.
Okay, so now I am done.
You're done. Doc Brown's done. Of course, you all saw my Lamy 2000 stainless steel.
That's it.
The Lamy 2000M. Officially, it is the Lamy 2000M, and M is for metal. So I don't know. Are we going to... Let's just decide right now. Are we going to refer to this as the Lamy 2000 stainless steel, or are we going to go with the 2000M?
2000.
And just M. Okay, good. I'm glad we're going to call it that. Last Monday, I sent a little text message to Doc Brown, short and sweet, said, I'm sending you a project via email, stay tuned. He texts me back and says, I am Skype available, if necessary. And I say to myself, well, I don't really need to talk to him in Skype, but since he's there, let me say hello. So I sign into Skype, there he is. We get this video conversation going, and within 5 minutes, he has made me purchase a pen.
Good job, Stephen.
Yeah, I know. Although the trick didn't work in DC, so I'm not sure what went wrong there, but still, okay.
No, his prowess was not working on me in DC, but boy, this conversation, he showed me what he showed me was that Stipula Model T that he just shared with everybody, and I thought it was just absolutely gorgeous, and he told me what he paid for it and where he got it, and I started looking, and really within 5 minutes I had clicked buy now because it was an eBay purchase from a seller in Malaysia, and ordinarily I wouldn't think to buy from Malaysia right off the bat, but Doc Brown had already purchased one. It arrived nicely, and I think Ziggy1333 told you about this particular eBay seller. So this was Monday, 11:14 a.m. my time. I clicked to pay for this pen in PayPal to be shipped to me from Malaysia. Free shipping, or shipping included. That was Monday. Wednesday, 11:14 a.m., exactly 48 hours after, DHL rings my doorbell, and the pen is here from Malaysia in 2 days. And it's a fantastic pen. But 2 days from Malaysia, I could not believe it. I wait weeks sometimes, or at least a week sometimes, for things from the East Coast of the United States.
Okay, so I just found the auctions. Can I show the price? Share it with everyone?
I don't see why not. I'm sure the seller would.
$155 with free shipping.
Is expedited. It got to me in 2 days, exactly 48 hours, like to the minute. It was like an uncanny, strange thing. I have always wanted a Stipula. I have looked at the Model Ts in the past. I've always thought they were a little too expensive for what they were. I'm very impressed with this pen. Very impressed with it. It's a very nice writer. The nib is very fun. My particular nib glides across the page, providing no feedback. I think, Doc Brown, you said you get a little feedback, but it's something that you like in the pen.
Yeah, it's a typical type of feedback. I mean, it's not like it's scratchy. I mean, it's not at all scratchy. It's just the titanium. I'm just trying it out now. That's why I'm not looking at the camera. It's different. It's different from gold and it's different from stainless steel, but not in a bad way. I guess it's just I just have to get used to it. That's all.
I'm used to mine. I love mine. It's a fantastic pen, a fantastic deal. Got here really, really fast. Dan, that should be your next purchase.
I think it's funny that it got to you in 2 days, because I clicked buy and then the doorbell rang. So it's like actually it arrived pretty fast with me too. I think it was 3 days or something. So I agree. The shipper is amazing. The shipper, what do you call it? The seller is amazingly fast, and that's really, really cool.
Well, I suppose kudos go out to DHL as well, because they're the ones who actually. It went from Kuala Lumpur to Hong Kong to Los Angeles. I saw it was in Los Angeles Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning it arrived in Los Angeles. And I thought, oh, I'll probably get it tomorrow. Ding dong, there it is at my door. The same day. Could not believe it. Love it. Great pen. That's all I have. I was expecting an Edison Pearlette in Persimmon Swirl.
Dropped the ball again.
Well, I don't know what's happening. It should be here today. It should be here today. So perhaps I'll be able to show it off next week.
Well, I mean, this is what happens if you ask a guy to make a pen and you ask him to do a voiceover for a video. I mean, he can only spend his time on one thing. So, I mean, it's your own fault that it's delayed, Eric. I mean, that's what happens.
I suppose. It's not that I don't have other pens to play with. But yes, those are two great pens that I got this week, and I'm very happy with them.
I apologize for making you buy a pen within 5 minutes of talking to me. I mean, it's kind of a nasty thing.
Well, that either works or it doesn't, because you spent hours at the DC Pen Show trying to get me to buy several different pens. It never worked. None of those pens spoke to me. This one struck me immediately. You showed me where to get it. You led me to the the end of the rainbow, and boom, I was buying it.
It's probably the webcam. People need to see me like this, and then I make them buy stuff. I think that's it.
We should have done Skype room to room at the DC Pen Show. I think, Dan, should people keep their eye out at their website today or this weekend or something for are we going to do another write-in giveaway? Question mark. He asks as if he doesn't know.
Yes, we're doing another write-in giveaway. This was our 4th month-long giveaway.
This is our 4th one.
We will be continuing for September. It should go live today since this is the 1st, right?
It should go live today since this is the 1st.
All right, so yeah, definitely be on the lookout for that. Let's see. Tomorrow, our caption contest will end at 11:59 p.m. Monday, we will announce the winner for that. So yeah, that's the schedule for the weekend. Of course, we'll have the Sunday Shopper tomorrow. And I think that's all we've got lined up.
I don't really have any plans in particular for Labor Day. You, Mr. Smith?
Nothing scheduled. I mean, we're just going to try and have some fun.
And Doc Brown is probably going to work on Monday.
Yes, and actually we have Labor Day on May 1st, so it's a completely different.
That's May Day.
Yeah, I'll let you know what I'll do on Labor Day.
We don't take it off, though. All right, I'm going to remind everyone how they can contact us via email, podcast@fpgeeks.com. You can call us, 415-685-GEEK, 415-685-4335. We are on Twitter, twitter.com/FPGeeks, Facebook, facebook.com/FPGeeks. We're on the web, fpgeeks.com. We have a forum, fpgeeks.com/forum. We have, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a new mailing address. The old one still works, in case you want to send something there, but we do. I'm going to announce this, right, Dan?
Yes.
Okay. We have a new mailing address, and I'll just give it to you. Fountain Pen Geeks, P.O. Box 729 in Ankeny, Iowa, 50021. Ankeny is Ankeny. This will be available at the website. Am I pronouncing it correctly? Like a native?
Yes.
Ankeny. Just so you know. And of course, that is in the neighborhood of Mr. Dan Smith himself. And so he will be responsible for that particular P.O. box.
So
yes?
The awesome board here.
Yes.
All the entries for the Micarta have been posted, but I have this little bare spot right here. And
what do you suppose we should do with it?
It needs to be filled. I mean, people can either start writing letters in to me personally, or, I mean, obviously, I think some of the past, you're going to send me letters from the past contest, and I'll put those up there. But
you're going to need a couple more boards.
Oh, I know it. But yes,
in fact, just dedicate a wall of your house to it.
I could easily do that.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, 4 walls, and just make it start high and go like from the top of your head to the ceiling and all around the room. And when you run out of space, we can start on the ceiling. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, gentlemen, that's all I have for this week.
Me too.
Yep.
Doc Brown, have a very pleasant evening, and I'll talk to you all later. I suppose before we go, this seemed to work really well, the video portion at least. We were able to share some photos.
People in chat are loving the audio video. They say that the sync was a lot better, the quality was a lot better. They're not real crazy about the chat room. I apologize for that. It was the best I could find on such short notice. We'll try and find a better solution there. But overall, I think I really like the Google Hangouts on air, and I think we'll probably continue to use this.
I like what I'm seeing. I'll have to watch the video, and of course I have to get the audio of it ready for the podcast itself on Tuesday, the audio podcast. Chat.
I know we have a younger generation in the chat because they don't like the IRC format, which I don't know. I kind of grew up with IRC, so when I found this, I was like, oh, yes, I love this. But I don't know. I guess
I'm not sure I love it, but that is when Dan and I tested it out yesterday, and the first thing I said was, "This is old school," and yeah, it brings back memories
to it. So
yeah,
no, we'll try and look for something a little more user friendly.
But at least there was a chat room. But this was the best free thing we could find on quick notice. And in case you didn't notice this, the way we test new things is you are our guinea pigs. If we want to redo the way we're doing a podcast, we don't have time really where all three of us can get together and try it with a fake audience. We don't have a test audience. You are our test audience. So this was the first time we've actually tried this with a Google Hangout streaming live to YouTube. I think it went really well. I think we'll try it again next week. How's that sound?
Yeah. Oh, and something I just saw in the chat, no ads. No interruptions.
No ads.
Love it.
Yeah. So just another reason for me to begrudgingly like Google.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Thank you for being here. We'll talk to you all next week. Have a great Labor Day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.